Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're here today to have that discussion. That one that I kept saying I was supposed to have regarding the Project Scorpio and the PlayStation Neo. Yeah, that one. The one where I ramble on for about 12 minutes and tell you how much, or I should say how little sense their existence actually makes, at least in the way that it seems both Sony and Microsoft are going to be launching these consoles next year in 2017. And we don't actually know what Sony's plans are. They've been very hush about the Neo. We just know it exists. That's all they've really confirmed. However, we can take a look at the plans that Microsoft has and develop a discussion on that. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So Microsoft at E3 said, Project Scorpio, super powerful, 4K, 6 teraflops or whatever of GPU power, crazy RAM. This is the most powerful console that we've ever seen. The biggest GPU ever put in a console for the developers to make the games they want to make, man. Unlimited power to make crazy, powerful, awesome games. And who knows, maybe even VR at some point. We're going to let other people do that. Maybe we'll bring it to the Xbox Scorpio. That all sounds crazy cool, right? It's launching in 2017. Boom. And I'm like, whoa, okay, this is pretty awesome. You know, you're building this really powerful console. And then you start to sort of think about it. And you're like, oh, wait, what'd you just say? Phil, did you say that they're going to exist in the same ecosystem? All your games are going to be playable on the Xbox One and the Project Scorpio, and your peripherals is cool. But did you say games? They're going to exist on the same platform? How? Oh, here we go. Here's where the issue starts, and there's a lot to talk about here. We need to talk about the console consumer, what they expect when it comes to console upgrades, when they expect them, the amount of money that they're willing to spend on a bi-yearly basis. But primarily, the issue with having two completely different consoles exist in the same ecosystem. I know they're completely different, but in terms of power, you know, the Scorpio is going to be insane. If it actually matches all those specs, 4K, all of that GPU and memory power, that's going to be a really powerful console. There's no doubt about that. Comparing that to the Xbox One, and the Xbox One looks like an original Xbox. It looks quite like an actual Xbox One. So to have them exist side by side means that there are going to be a substantial amount of limitations. And Microsoft, after E3, came out and said, games that exist on both platforms, you know, you won't see any difference. The Project Scorpio version will run at the same frame rate as the Xbox One version. So if the developers cannot make the Xbox One version of the game run above 30 FPS, then you won't see it at anything above 30 FPS on the Project Scorpio. That kind of defeats the purpose of having a more powerful platform, right? It's like having two PCs in your house, one that is super powerful that has like a GTX 1080 in it, and another one that has, I don't know, a GeForce 9800 GT. And you only run the GTX 1080 capable PC at 13 frames per second when you play games because that's all your 9800 GT can run them at. It's only fair. I mean, why would I let the older, more powerful brother do anything better than the younger one? That's really the predicament that you end up in, especially when we talk about multiplayer experiences. You can't have one game running at 60 and the other game running at 30 and expect these people to be able to play in the same environment on the same servers. It's not fair. It just will never work out. So in reality, you're giving developers a more powerful platform, but they can't actually harness or access that power. And it could very much be the same issue with the PlayStation Neo if they launched the platform in the same manner, which they'd be crazy not to. Here's the thing. You can't really expect Microsoft to show up or Sony to show up and be like, hey, upgrade next year. Boom. You guys are going to have to jump to the Scorpio. We're dropping the Xbox One. Here's the most powerful console you have ever seen. No one on the consumer side of things, or at least the vast majority of people where your money in your install basis exists, is going to give a damn how powerful the Scorpio is, because they're not going to drop potentially well over $400 considering the specs of these consoles after only 3 years, 4 years, whatever it's going to be. Like, that's a mid-cycle upgrade in the terms of the lifespan of consoles throughout history. And that's why console consumers buy consoles, because they can spend $400 or $500 and they have something that lasts them potentially up to 8 years. That's, I think, the longest cycle we saw with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. That's a big deal. That's a long time to not have to spend a dime. That's what they expect. Now, I know Microsoft has talked about a trade-in program, and I think that's a great idea. You know, the idea of maybe giving somebody $100 or $200 for the Xbox One if they upgraded the Scorpio. I think that's smart, and we'll talk about one of my theories towards the end of this video. But I hope you guys can see the issue that I'm discussing here. You know, the problem with both of these existing side by side, it doesn't really matter how powerful or capable the Scorpio is if it's being held back by the Xbox One, and the same thing with the Neo and the PlayStation 4. So it's a really weird situation. You know, and no developer in their right mind is going to develop only on the Scorpio just for the sake of gaining access to that power. Maybe a few of them will, but especially when we start talking launch day, holiday 2017, whenever that happens, maybe November, you know, December, Project Scorpio drops. Do you think there are going to be any Project Scorpio exclusive games looking to harness the Scorpio fully? No, because you'd be missing out on a massive portion of the install base. You'd make, you know, like a tenth of the profits probably. Like, not that many people are going to jump ship to the Scorpio day one. That's something that's going to take years, potentially. So there's some big problems that lie in there. Like I said, I really like the idea of making a mid-cycle upgrade. You know, I think it's very clear that the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 aren't that powerful, especially when you look at all of the technology coming out from AMD as well as from NVIDIA in terms of GPU power alone, you know? That's a big deal, and maybe they're going to be harnessing some of that in the Neo and the Scorpio. But you know, I think they recognize that just the way that things launched, they didn't make the consoles as powerful as they needed to be. Do I think the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 can last 7-8 years? Hell no. There's no way. I mean, you know, they're going to get outdated so quickly. Things are going to just be left behind. We're already seeing an issue when you have what is supposed to be the next generation of technology with the Xbox One. Even the PlayStation 4 struggles. You know, when they can barely hit 1080p, 60 FPS on all of the games that are coming out. That's a huge problem. That's a huge problem when you've got now $400 GPUs in the market that can do that in the blink of an eye, you know, bundled with, you could, I don't care, $300 CPU bundle it with, you know? Like, it's... We're come to that point now where they're in a rough position in terms of price per performance for these consoles, and they do need to make a big upgrade. But like I said, the biggest issue is that the console consumer is not used to that. On the PC, you know, most people are okay with spending $200 to $600, I should say, bi-yearly on like just a GPU upgrade, maybe a memory upgrade. Like, most of the community that builds a PC, that maintains a PC, is ready to make that upgrade, ready to make that change. That's not what the console consumer expects. It's not what they're used to, and I don't think they're ready to make that change. At least the vast majority, where the money and, again, the install basis is going to be. So there's struggles across the board. There's struggles for the consumer. There's struggles for the developer, who isn't going to be able to harness the power. But if they want to harness all the power, then they're losing out on a huge portion of the install base that already exists on the previous consoles. You can see where I'm coming from. This is a really big, juicy dilemma. Now, the only bit of clarity or the concept that I have in my head that might make this work out in the end is, you know, Microsoft, like I said, talking about the trade-in program. If they can maintain the trade-in program for 2 years after Scorpio, or a year even after Scorpio launches, they could slowly pull people into making that upgrade. So a year goes by, maybe 2 years goes by, and they can start to phase out the Xbox One. They can start to push it away, and maybe at that 2-year mark, they can say, hey guys, this is it. This is the cutoff. From here on out, games will be developed solely on the Scorpio. They will fully harness the power of the Scorpio. You'll see your games at wonderful 60 plus FPS at 1080p plus resolutions. The Xbox One is being left behind. That would be kind of a smart move, you know, to launch a more powerful console earlier. A more powerful console, to launch a more powerful console earlier, and then let the install base slowly grow and creep, and of course give incentives to make that upgrade throughout the holiday season, throughout the years, you know, for people to jump from the Xbox One to the Scorpio. Eventually, you know, they can look at the numbers and say, okay, time to pull the trigger. You know, just like they did with the Xbox One and the Xbox 360. I mean, I know there will always be those people who stay behind for way too long. There are still people who only own a 360 right now and are pissed that they can't play Destiny moving forward. Like, you know, people like that will always exist. People who simply can't afford it, who don't care, who don't want to make the upgrade, they will always exist. But once they reach the minority, then maybe you can pull the trigger. The bigger question will be, in 2 years' time, after 2017, so 2019, will the Scorpio still be as powerful as it needs to be to warrant that upgrade without them then saying, damn, we need to make another upgrade? Like, it's just the nature of technology and how rapidly things change. So, you know, at a glance, the Xbox Scorpio, Project Scorpio, sounds wicked powerful. Like, it could easily last, you know, 8-10 years. And if that's the case, then that plan may make sense, you know, to slowly creep people onto the Scorpio and then bump forward. Now, people have mentioned, like, VR, you know, for the PlayStation Neo. Oh, you know, it could be, you know, but we know that PSVR is going to launch on PlayStation 4. And Microsoft has briefly discussed the idea of letting other people work on VR, and then maybe we could see the Oculus work on the Xbox One, or the HTC Vive, or other headsets work and be compatible with Project Scorpio, I should say. And that would all be fantastic. The thing that I see with the PlayStation Neo and PSVR is them doing something similar to what I was just talking about, except maybe a year after the Neo comes out, if it launches in 2017, they launch the PSVR 2.0 headset, which is a better headset with higher resolution, you know, that has more performance because it would be exclusive to the Neo. These, again, are just theories, but they're things that would make sense to me. You know, these would be smart moves, in my opinion. It's an interesting situation nonetheless, and we've never seen something like this on the console side of things before. So it's completely new to all of us, whether you're hardcore, whether you've been following Microsoft and Sony forever, or you're someone who's just more casual. Everyone is kind of having their mind boggled by this. Will I make an upgrade to the Scorpio? It depends on how big that trade-in value is. If I can get $200 for my Xbox One, $150 for my Xbox One, without a doubt, I'll pull the trigger and grab a Scorpio. I'll see what it's all about, and I'll be there early as an adopter because I like doing this stuff with technology. I'm a nerd like that, and see how it all pans out. But either way, we'll all be along for the ride. We'll all see how it goes down, and we'll all see what benefits we get, as well as the developer, and as well as these big companies get in the end. It's gonna be a crazy, crazy adventure. Let me know what you guys think on the situation as a whole. If you have any thoughts you'd like to share with me, let me know if this is something that you're going to do. Are you going to pull the trigger and make the upgrade? Does it depend solely on what you can get for your previous console in terms of a trade-in from Microsoft? I'm not talking about going to GameStop and getting $60 for your $500 console. I'm talking about a proper trade-in program from Sony and Microsoft. Let me know what you guys think. Throw it down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.